talk to you about two men. They both true stories. Their names are Jeremiah and Joseph. They both came from New York. Both men in about their early to mid-40s. And both of them very different lives. The first one is Jeremiah Laity. Jeremiah lived back in 1857. And he was a businessman. He was single, but he loved the Lord. And in 1857 in New York City, things were not good. Drunkenness was rampant. And Jeremiah thought, there's got to be a change. There's so many people out on the streets. There's so many people that need help. And so he decided he'd go to work for what is called the Old North Dutch Reformed Church. And he'd go out and he'd go door to door helping people and talking to them. And he'd go help the homeless and the sick, the hungry. And he'd come home and he'd be tired. He'd be so very tired. He'd be exhausted. And so he'd find himself back at the church, praying. Praying is how he renewed himself to go out and do it again. And one day he got the idea, well, there's got to be other people that want to pray. There's got to be more. I'm going to invite them. And so he did. He drew up what were called tracts. Back in that time, to you and I, they'd be brochures. 20,000 of them. And he spread them throughout the city. And he invited everybody to show up on September 23rd from noon to 1 o'clock to pray. And Jeremiah showed up on that day, and he was the only one there. The only person that showed up. And so he sat there and he prayed anyway. For a half hour he prayed by himself. And then pretty soon there were footsteps. And then 5 more people showed up by the end of the hour to pray. Jeremiah wasn't discouraged by that. He said, we're going to keep doing this. And the next week there were 20 people. And the week after that there were close to 40 people. And before long there were so many people that wanted to pray, he had to have daily meetings. And then it had spread to other churches. Near 100 churches were having prayer meetings. Business leaders were showing up. People at home were showing up. People were finding hope. And before long, it was nationwide. Even our very own president, Franklin Pierce, was going to prayer meetings. Things were changing simply because one man wanted to pray. Now the other man I'm going to tell you about, his name is Joseph Curry. Joseph was a judge in the 1930s. Joseph was married. He lived his life maybe not so agreeable with everybody else's standards. Not only did he have a wife, he had 3 mistresses. Joseph was a judge for the New York City Supreme Court. And how he came to get that position, well, that's a question. It cost some people some dear money to have him there because Joseph handled a lot of mob cases, a lot of questionable dealings in his courtroom. Joseph loved the nightlife. He didn't answer to anybody until some people decided they would blackmail him. He was on vacation with his wife on August 1st. He got a phone call. They were on vacation in Maine. He got a phone call he had to go back to New York City. He had promised his wife he would come back for her birthday, though, on August 9th. On August 6th, he was out to a show with another lady. And then they went to dinner. And Joseph got up from the table and went outside. And there's a couple different versions on how he disappeared. But it said that he got into a taxi cab and he was never heard from again. In fact, they used to use the expression for missing persons as pulling a crater. But he left a note for his wife that said, I'm tired. I'm so very tired. Now Joseph was never heard from again. His life made no significance, and he knew that after a a while, there was nothing more he could do. And Jeremiah, on the other hand, chose to make a difference simply because he wanted to pray. We here at Grace Church, as Pastor Roger will tell you, we're about to embark on a fantastic journey. In fact, we've already kind of started that journey. And I'm inviting you, right here and right now, to go with us. I've seen what this congregation is capable of in 5 days. You put a holiday lights parade float together. I've seen what the ladies can do when they put their minds to get doing something, and the men when they make pancakes. Everybody's invited. But we are about to embark on the Healthy Church Initiative. But there's one very important part of that. It's required that we have a prayer team. And we do. But I am looking at a much bigger prayer team right now. I'm looking at all of you. If what we can do in 5 days, we've got over 18 months to accomplish this. And I think this is fantastic. And I can't think of a better time of the year to start this journey than right before Christmas. We know that God is always with us. Well, when's the last time we took the time to invite Him along for the journey? No matter where that journey takes us, whether it's just our everyday life, whether we're going to work, whether it's our children's birthday party or their school play, whether it's the Healthy Church Initiative. Invite Him wherever you're going, because He's invited you. And I'm inviting all of you to pray for something that can revitalize this church. I see so many faces here today. Maybe it's because we're serving pancakes, which is a great thing. But you are always welcome, and you are always invited to be here with us. We are so blessed here at this church. We are blessed with a fantastic music ministry and leaders, Mark, Kenny, Isaac, Sharon, our choir. We're blessed with a pastor who loves and shares his passion with us for the Lord. With all our committee chairs, with our prayer shawls, with our quilters, with our Stephen ministers, in so many ways. And I ask you to continue to pray for those people as they lead this congregation. Prayer is so simple. And when you think you have nothing else to offer, you've always got